6 or 5 county Land Rover 110. Okay, this car here, I was lucky to buy 2 years ago. It sat in a mate of mine's garage for 10 years undriven. About 15 years ago, my mate Bill Larman and Tim Gamblin actually built this car from scratch. It was originally just a standard county wagon, yeah, and they actually, what they did, they turned it into a ute, and the main mod to the car probably is the portal axles, which are off a Volvo C303, which they managed to get from Malaysia, and the Malaysian military used to run them in a Volvo, like a Ford Control Land Rover vehicle. So yeah, these are they call them the fast ratio ones. They're 6-to-1 final drive. There's 2 versions of these diffs. They can come with 7-to-1 final drive. But as I said, they call these the fast, but they're very slow on the road. So we sort of top out about 85, 90 k's, doing about 3,200 RPM at the moment because I don't have an overdrive. Hopefully in the future I'll fix that. So when they modified the car, the rear suspension's pretty standard for this vehicle. Not a lot of mods there. Longer shocks, that's about all in the rear, and they've re-angled the shocker mounts to get more travel out of the rear. In the front, that's probably where most of the mods have been done. It's turned into a 3-link. Originally, this vehicle has just a front radius arm with 2 bushes, which really limits the travel in the vehicles. So what they do, Bill and Tim managed to put, they've virtually front radius arms now, so they've only got 1 bush which joins the diff housing. And then they've got a traction bar or tramp bar at the top. So that's the 3rd link, and yeah, so what that does is give you more articulation. The tyres we're running on this vehicle are Mickey Thompson Claws, 37.5s. I don't think you can actually buy these tyres anymore. I've had these for years on other vehicles and they just happen to be in the shed, so that's what we're running at the moment. They're on just steel beadlock rims, which is a funny setup. I had to get them custom made because they've got a Volvo centre. These Volvo rims are normally 16-inch rims. These are on 15-inch rims, but on a military vehicle they have a deep well so you can manually fit the tyre in the bush easily, which makes it good for people like me. You can adapt the centre to a 15-inch rim where it's easy to get tyres. This has got an LT95 transmission, which is just a Land Rover 4-speed transmission, but Bill Larman designed a crawler box for it, which incorporates the Jeep low range box off a Quadra-Trac, and that's 2.6-to-1 low range. So what that does is give us an option of running 3.2 or 3-to-1, which is in the Land Rover box, or 2.6-to-1, which is in the Jeep box, or we can double them up and we end up, whatever that adds up to, ends up with really slow gears. It's got a Parenti bonnet, which I put on it last year. I put Parenti doors on it, half doors. The engine is just standard, it's just carburetted, nothing fancy in the engine. All I've got is a air conditioner pump for the compressor, so an endless air I think they call it. I had that for years, so I just put that on it. That's so we can just inflate tyres. The lockers in these diffs are vacuum, so you don't have to worry about air, all that. You just run them off your vacuum hoses in your inlet manifold. I put the winch on it. When I first got it, it had a PTO winch. I'm not skilled enough to ride a PTO winch, so I just went the simple Warn electric winch, which is just ease. I should put some plasma rope on it, but I just haven't got around to it. I've actually got a high mount that I'm building for it, so eventually it'll have a high mount with a air-free spool. I've got it half built at the moment, but hopefully that'll go on. Don't know if I'll have it on for the trip, but hopefully. The reality is I need to fix my power steering, as we've probably seen today. The last time a year or so, we took this up to New South Wales and I managed to break a power steering box in it, and I that was up an awkward track in a horrible spot, and where we salvaged the power steering box from someone's backyard full of water, put it in and got home, and I haven't replaced it since, but I actually think it's not working because it's so heavy to steer. So as soon as I get home, I've got to put a new power steering system on it, and I've got to upgrade. This has got the 3-bolt power steering box on it, and I'm going to upgrade to the 4-bolt, which is fully powered steering, where these 3 bolts aren't fully power assist. The first 11 degrees of turn supposedly is no power, and then it becomes power, which is no good for the sort of driving we do. So that's the first job. So really, if I do that, I'm pretty right to go. I would like some decent headlights. You know, these are 20-year-old technology on the front here. Some modern stuff would be quite good. Hopefully I've started to build an external hoop, I suppose. I call it a brush bar. It's not actually a roll cage as such, but I just want it so instead of dinting the roof when I rub it against the tree, I can rub against the bar. I hopefully have that finished. So yeah, so the 3 jobs really, some decent lights, the roll bar and the power steering box, and I'd be pretty happy to go. The reason I purchased this car, I have another car that's got portal axles, and I really like it. It's my pride and joy, to be honest, but it's a buggy more so than a car that you can take on the road. I take it up north to the Wadigans, Coffs Harbour and those places and drive it regularly, but it's really just a trail buggy. I wanted a car that I could go to drive on the road. So this car is actually fully engineered with the portals and the tyres that you see on it. As is, it's engineered, and peace of mind, that's the reason I mainly brought the car. Plus I thought it was a really good package when I've seen it work before I brought it. So it just gives me, I can use this as my camping truck, and my other one's a buggy, which, you know, I do real extreme full driving in. Well, to be honest, this is nearly just as capable. I have bigger tyres on my other truck, and it's a shorter wheelbase. The longer wheelbase in this I find more comfortable. As you get older, you get more chicken, and the steep hills, especially at Coffs Harbour, they're steep up there. The longer wheelbase you really enjoy. Yeah, so that's what I actually purchased it for. It's just a cool truck, and it's something different. You know, it's not a Toyota or a Nissan, and I'm all for that. Damien showed me the group of guys who are doing the event. It's hard to pick who will do well on the day. A lot of it's just luck. If it's rain, how deep the ruts are. If the ruts are deep, the portal axles on this car is going to really help. But you know, some of those big horsepower cars, they might do it right. It's hard to pick. You know, it's a lot of luck, driver skill. No, I'm sort of sitting on the fence. I'm not going to pick a car. I'd like the Land Rovers to go well, because there's 3 Land Rovers as I see, so that's a bit exciting. The Suzuki, I'll be keen to see. They usually perform really well. A light car, it's pretty hard to beat a Suzuki. So yeah, we'll see. Well, at this stage, we're conning Bill to be the navvy. So at the moment, I might have a tag team halfway. One of my other mates Bill might do 12 hours, and another mate might do the other 12. It's just we're all getting old. Some of us don't like to do a 24 hours, so we might split it up. We're not sure. We'll see what's going on when we get closer to the event. Heaps of Pepsi Max to keep awake. That's what I'm going to do. And there'll be plenty of adrenaline to keep you awake on the event, so you won't need much. If you're into four-wheel driving, it'll be awesome. There'll be cars braking, there'll be winching, I dare say, there'll be just stuff happening. It'll keep you awake. So I don't think that's going to be a problem. The next night I think I'll be had it and shattered, but through the event I don't think it'll be a problem.